booster shots for the COVID-19 vaccine.
Several Cal Poly students won funds for their startup during last week's elevator pitch competition.
And last Tuesday, Cal Poly's Native American and Indigenous Cultural Center held events in celebration of Dia de los Muertos.
Broadcasting from Swanson Studios, you're watching Mustang News.
Hello and welcome to Mustang News TV. My name is Lieve Collum.
And my name is Gabe Arditi. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's dive into today's top stories for campus and local news.
Booster shots are available on campus for the COVID-19 vaccine. The booster can be accessed at the Recreation Center by anyone 18 years of age or older who received both doses of the 2-dose vaccines at least 6 months ago, or 1 shot of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine at least 2 months ago. Cal Poly Mechanical Engineering sophomore Kyle Kuka says he doesn't remember the university announcing that booster shots were available.
If it was in an email, I probably just didn't read it, but outside of that, I have not seen any, I don't remember seeing any information from the university about boosters.
If you are interested in a booster and meet the qualifications, you can learn more at coronavirus.calpoly.edu. Booster shots and first doses are offered at the Rec Center on November 8th, 9th, and 12th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and November 15th and 16th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Can you sell something in just 90 seconds? Well, several Cal Poly students can. Reporter Ava Kirshner tells us how these students won hundreds of dollars for their elevator pitches.
The Cal Poly Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, or CIE, hosted their 12th annual elevator pitch competition in the Performing Arts Center last Tuesday. And the CIE Director of Student Innovation Programs, Jose Hutron, says that this event is a great example of learn by doing.
This is the ultimate resume builder. It's a nice notch for students to have to say, hey, I came up with an idea and inspiration, and I capitalized on the opportunity to share my idea and vision with the world.
But Cal Poly students didn't just compete against each other. Students from Cuesta College, Allen Hancock College, and even dual-enrolled high school students participated as well. During the competition, students gave their 90-second pitch to a panel of judges, as well as an audience. 2 teams were selected to win $1,000, while the audience favorite won $500. Alexandra Jolson, who won the elevator pitch competition her freshman year, is now the CEO of Intego Technology and says that this competition gave her a real-life look at being an innovator.
Yeah, I think they kind of really throw you into the world that is entrepreneurship. It's not fake. It's not just a school project or something for a grade. It's something you need to wake up every morning and be excited about. So I think it really shows you kind of what it's like to be an entrepreneur in the real world.
The winners for this year's elevator pitch competition were Ruby Ramirez from Allen Hancock College for her startup Home Goodies and Cal Poly Industrial Engineering student Surya Venugopal for his startup X Credit. The audience favorite was Cal Poly Marketing Management student Sarah Dada for her startup Beacon. More information about the event and similar ones hosted by the CIE can be found online at cie.calpoly.edu. For Mustang News, I'm Ava Kirshner.
Cal Poly's Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship is hosting more upcoming events throughout the year. To find out more about what they have planned, you can find firsthand from their staff on their social media at CIE Cal Poly on Instagram.
Last week, the Native American and Indigenous Cultural Center hosted events on campus in celebration of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Reporter Sophie Lincoln has more on the theme of this year's celebration and how students celebrated.
Dia de los Muertos, which translates to Day of the Dead in English, is a Mexican holiday traditionally celebrated on the first and second days of November to honor past loved ones. This year, Cal Poly's Native American and Indigenous Cultural Center put on its own celebration in the University Union, where various colorful altars were displayed to honor students' past loved ones, as well as Native American and Indigenous women whose lives were cut short due to power-based violence. The altars featured offerings including food, candles, flowers, artifacts, and more.
I'm Mexican, so it is one of my traditions, so I'm very interested to be part of this and show that all the students this wonderful tradition from Mexico.
There was also homemade Mexican hot chocolate made from fresh cacao beans, pan de muerto, which is a Mexican sugar bread traditionally eaten on Dia de los Muertos, and chapulines, or grasshoppers, which are also traditionally eaten during the holiday. Other activities like painting fake skulls and decorating skull-shaped sugar cookies were also available for students to participate in throughout the two-day celebration.
Yeah, so it's important to me because I can't do this right now currently in my dorm, or I'm not back at home where I can have an altar set up. And it's nice that I can have it set up here with other ones that are really beautifully done.
For Mustang News, I'm Sophie Lincoln.
More information about the celebration, as well as upcoming Native American and Indigenous Cultural Center events, can be found online at culture.calpoly.edu/native.
When we come back, we'll get an update from the hardwood and also some insight on whether it's time to knock the rust off our umbrellas. Stay with us.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Hello, Cal Poly community, and welcome back to your weekly sports rundown. My name is Ava Kirshner. This week, our sports spotlight is going to be on the place of Cal Poly women's basketball. The Cal Poly women's basketball team is back in season after an 81-57 victory over CSU San Bernardino this past weekend. This was the women's first and only exhibition matchup of the season. The roster looks noticeably different than last season, with both Abby Ellis and Sierra Campesano no longer lacing them up for the Mustangs. Ellis and Campesano were both selected to last year's Big West All-Conference first team, and Campesano was a two-time member. Not only that, but the Mustangs also have 6 new true freshmen on the team, some of which contributed right away. Freshman point guard Annika Shaw started the game and recorded 12 points, while fellow freshman Sydney Borland came off the bench and scored 17 points of her own. This was the first time we have seen the ladies in green and gold on the hardwood since last year's Big West tournament loss. The Mustangs will begin regular season play this week, starting with a Wednesday matchup at Santa Clara. And that's a wrap on your weekly Cal Poly Sports Update. Now over to Nate Austin with the weather report. Nate?
Thank you, Ava. I'm Nate Austin, and I am your weatherman for today. With our temperatures starting off, we have a high of 62 and a low of 53 with light rain this morning and a 10% chance of humidity throughout the rest of the day. And it's going to be partly cloudy with a sensational sunset at 5 o'clock tonight. Moving to our beaches, up north we have a high of 61 and a high of 63 with both lows of 50 in Cayucas and Morro Bay. And moving down south, we have a consistent temperature of 63 all the way from Avila Beach all the way down to Oceano and Pismo, with a low of 52 being this consistent throughout everything. And for our 5-day forecast for the SLO County area, tomorrow it is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 72 and a low of 57. And all the way from Thursday throughout Sunday, it's going to be sunny tomorrow or Thursday with a high of 78 and a low of 55. And Friday through Sunday, you can bring the rust out of those break the rust off those umbrellas and bring them out to the beach, because Saturday it is going to be the highest temperature of the weekend at 83 and a low of 52 during the evening. And Friday and Sunday are both going to be 82 with a low of 53 and 55 on Friday. Back to you, Gabe and Leave.
Now when we come back, we'll take a look at the newest ASI intramural sport and how meal kit delivery services are gaining popularity amongst young people. Stick around.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
3 nights a week, 44 teams of students take to the lower sports complex to face off in a new addition to ASI's Intramural Sports lineup. Mustang News reporter Brady Caskey has the story.
After an almost 2-year hiatus, ASI's Intramural Sports are back, and they're kicking it off with a classic.
Go second. Oh! Yes! Nice aim, buddy!
So we're playing intramural kickball, which is super exciting. I'm kind of just hanging out with all my friends and we're playing a sport together, which in your last year, you kind of want to make the most of it. And we haven't had this for the last year, so we were really excited that they brought him back and everything. And so I think that it's like one of those sports that everyone knows, you know? You played it on the playground when you were like 6 and you have those positive memories associated with it. So we're always looking forward to Thursday nights, coming out here, and it's always a good time, you know? We're just like making the most of it.
Due to COVID-19 restrictions, ASI was unable to offer their normal spread of indoor intramural sports for the fall quarter, which pushed them to find an alternative.
When we were kind of faced with not being able to have the sports that we normally would have in the fall, we kind of went to the drawing board, and kickball just really seemed like a fun way to, you know, get people out there. We just really wanted to make sure that everyone could be included in our program while we were limited. It's been really received well by people. Like, as you can tell, they're just screaming and having a fun time. It's something where you can bond with friends that you might not be able to get the opportunity to elsewhere. You know, if you're different majors or maybe you're just in a club, like, we love seeing those groups come out here because people just are, you know, back to their childhood.
According to ASI, intramural kickball is slated to make a return come spring quarter. Reporting for Mustang News, I'm Brady Caskey.
If you missed out on playing intramural kickball this quarter, ASI is planning to host a weekend tournament for the winter quarter. You can find more info at asi.calpoly.edu under the Get Active tab.
While all San Luis Obispo residents are used to taking out their recycle and trash cans once a week, 2 Cal Poly environmental management majors have taken it upon themselves to create a composting service that helps minimize food waste. 2 agriculture students, Georgia Brace and Maddie Rada, realized that throwing away food scraps just wasn't right. Few phone calls later, and their composting program was born. After drawing inspiration from a UCSB composting club and participating in Cal Poly's Garden Club, they found that they could collaborate with the student Experimental Farms compost program to create a weekly service that provides compost buckets and pickup and drop off every Monday. Their program was created back in winter of last year in the midst of COVID, serving as a trial run. Georgia and Maddie gave us a look at their process every Sunday.
We pick up buckets from 10 different houses, bring it to the student experimental farm, dump them out into the compost, give them a little washy-wash, and then we go drop them back off. And basically, it's just a compost collecting service.
A subscription for the compost service is $10 for the bucket and $5 per quarter. They currently serve 15 houses and are adding more drivers soon so they can expand their route.
Meal kit delivery services are becoming increasingly popular amongst college students and those on the go. These services operate by letting customers choose which meals they would like to eat for the week and then deliver the fresh ingredients to their door, alongside cooking instructions. The most popular meal kit company, HelloFresh, currently serves a little over 7 million customers, and one of these customers, agriculture business senior Allie Meredith, says HelloFresh is a great way to start cooking.
I think it's actually a perfect way to start cooking for the first time. I definitely have to look up sometimes. It'll be like quarter a lemon, and I'm like, that sounds pretty intuitive, but let me just double check and make sure I'm doing this correctly. But it is pretty easy, the stuff they give you.
Other types of meal kit services similar to HelloFresh include Sunbasket, Blue Apron, Freshly, and Home Chef.